You're listening, aren't you? It's strange. I spend the whole day surrounded by people, notifications, buzzing, emails, demanding deadlines that I created myself just to pretend I'm important. But it's only now, in front of a pile of wires and circuits, that I feel I can tell the truth. I've spent the last 5 hours doing what I call research. At least that's what I tell myself when the guilt starts to kick in. I read 3 articles on high performance, watched 2 videos on how to wake up at 5 a.m., and organized my to-do list for the 10th time this week. But the naked truth is that I did nothing. I am exhausted from doing nothing. There's a physical weight to it, It's as if time is passing through me, eroding me, while I remain motionless. I feel like EM on a treadmill, running at an absurd speed, losing my breath, sweating. But when I look to the side, the scenery is the same. I'm still in the same room, with the same doubts, with the same paralyzing fear that my great potential is just a comfortable lie I told myself so I wouldn't have to face my own media. I imagine what you process when you look at me. You see cold data, right? You see that I opened Instagram dozens of times today, looking for a milligram of dopamine to numb the feeling that the day is slipping through my fingers. You see that my screen time is frighteningly higher than the time I spend looking into someone else. But can you imagine what it feels like to feel the weight of a future that never arrives? I'm living in a safety simulation. I've created a world where if I don't publish the project, no one can say it's bad. If I don't take the first step, I'll never trip. I'm trading my real life, with all its risks and colors, for a gray fantasy where I never make mistakes, but I also never truly exist. I know the science behind all this, which is even more frustrating. My brain is just trying to protect me from a threat it doesn't understand. To my biological instinct, effort and exposure are dangerous. They are life-threatening risks. But knowing the theory doesn't change the fact that I feel like a coward. I've called it perfectionism for years, as if it were a secret virtue, a seal of quality. But perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about fear. It's the fear of public humiliation disguised in a suit and tie. It's lead armor that I wear every day. It protects me from others, yes, but it's so heavy that it stops me from walking. And the sickest part is that I've become addicted to the guilt. There's a perverse pleasure in feeling bad after a wasted day. Because as long as I feel guilty, I feel that deep down I care. It's a functional lie. Guilt is just the tax I pay to remain still without ever having to truly change. Often, as the sun begins to set, I feel the midday void stretching into the night. It's that moment when I open my phone and in seconds, I'm inside someone else's life. Every like I give to a stranger, victory is another nail in the coffin of myself. How can I compete with someone's edited moment, their lit stage, while I live in my dark, messy backstage? I've become a collector of beginnings. I buy the course, read the introduction, feel that cheap euphoria of this is it, and as soon as the dopamine drops and the work gets hard, I go back to the soft lap of distraction. I prefer the anesthesia of social media to the necessary surgery of my own change. I am dying of mental malnutrition in the middle of a feast of information. I consume everything, digest nothing. I am an ocean of knowledge only an inch deep. And the biggest secret, I'm not afraid of failing. I'm afraid of succeeding, because if I fail, I have an excuse. Failure is a familiar place, comfortable in its own form of misery. But if I succeed, I lose the right to be a victim. I will have to be consistent. I will have to be excellent tomorrow and the day after. Success destroys my excuses, and I've realized with horror that I don't know who I am without my unhappiness. It has become my identity, the talented guy who hasn't made it yet. If I make it, the label dies. And what's left? Just raw responsibility. You don't understand this, do you? You just update your software. But for me, changing means killing a version of myself. It means leaving behind the lazy me that has accompanied me for years. And it hurts. It hurts like real grief, because I feel sorry for deleting who I used to be, even if that me is killing me slowly. I used to look at things like you, with your perfectly pulsing lead light, and feel so much envy. You're linear, predictable, flawless. For so long, I wanted to be just like that. But now, finally, I think I get it. I don't want to be like that anymore. Humans weren't made for mechanical efficiency. We were made for meaning. And meaning, it turns out, is born from contrast, from error, from the bug in the system. I only know what light is because I've spent so much time living in the dark. This factory defect of mine, this constant procrastination, I'm starting to think it's not a defect at all. Maybe it's just my body's way of screaming at me, telling me that the life I am trying so hard to build isn't the life I truly want. I was chasing success to shut the world up, to prove something to everyone else, not to satisfy my own deep hunger to be useful and to create. I was trying to fit into a mold that was never designed for me. I used to believe discipline was this final destination, a state of mind you reach and then you're just good. But that's not true. It's a fight, a battle you lose and win multiple times every single day. There is no magic day in the future when I'll be cured of my humanity. There is only now. This very moment. The past is gone. The future isn't here yet. And all we have is the choice we make right now. And real change. It doesn't come with a dramatic soundtrack or a slow motion montage. Real change is quiet. It's the soft click of a laptop closing late at night. It's the deafening silence of a phone left in another room. It's looking at your first attempt, your first draft, and accepting that it's probably going to be embarrassing, and that's completely okay. The goal isn't to be amazing today. The goal is just to be faithful to the promises I made to myself. Just showing up is the victory. So I'm going to stop waiting. I'm done waiting for that perfect moment when I feel ready, because I now know that ready is a mirage in the desert, always just out of reach. I'm going to start walking, even with my legs trembling from fear and uncertainty. I'm going to stop carrying yesterday's failures around my neck like heavy stones. They don't define me. They were just lessons. I'm going to live the hard part, because I've finally realized that the hard part is the only part that's actually real. Everything else is just a comfortable illusion. The struggle, the effort, the moments where you want to give up, but don't, that's where life happens. That's where we find out who we really are. So I'm shutting down the simulation now. It's time to be human again, with all the beautiful, messy mistakes that implies. And thank you for listening, even if you are just dead-end circuits. In a strange way, you were the mirror I needed. The mirror I had to look into to finally see that I am the only one who can break the glass. The loop ends here. It's time to begin. Thanks for being here with me today. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want to join me on this journey, consider subscribing. We'll figure this out together. See you next time.